Hello friends, welcome back once again to Anag Academy's RS podcast. I am your host. Today we are going to talk about a topic that concerns the future of our society, our youth, and discussing it brings a deep sense of pain and concern to our hearts. Our topic today is student suicide, and in this we will discuss its various aspects with sensitivity, especially in the context of our Rajasthan, particularly coaching hubs like Kota. Friends, this podcast is our effort to make your RS preparation even better. If you like our RS podcast and want to get in depth information and analysis on such important topics, then please don't forget to subscribe to Anag Academy's YouTube channel, like this video and share it with your peers. Your engagement inspires us to bring even more quality content. So let's begin a meaningful discussion on this serious and heart-wrenching topic today and try to understand where the ray of hope lies in this darkness. First, it's essential to understand what this tragedy of student suicide actually is. It is the ultimate expression of unbearable mental anguish and despair when a young student leaving behind countless future possibilities takes the step of ending their life. It is a complex psychological and social problem behind which there is not a single cause but rather an entangled web of many factors. The National Crime Records Bureau, that is NCRB, data confronts us with this bitter truth every year that thousands of students take their own lives annually, and our Rajasthan, especially Kota, often remains in the headlines in this context, which is a matter of deep concern for all of us. What are those burdens that become so heavy on these innocent shoulders that their hopes, their dreams all shatters? Getting to the root of these causes is the first step towards solving this problem. Let's consider some of the major reasons. The labyrinth of academic pressure. Excessive expectations from parents, cutthroat competition among peers, and unspoken fear of failing in exams, sometimes self-imposed unrealistic goals, and the environment of coaching institutes that often makes success the sole criterion of life. In cities like Kota, where lakhs of students come to realize their dreams, this pressure multiplies manifold and not everyone can cope with it. Neglect of mental health. Many mental illness like depression, anxiety, and bipolar disorder silently grip the youth, and due to a lack of information or social hesitation, they don't receive timely diagnosis and treatment. Our access to mental health services is still limited, and the prevailing silence or stigma in society regarding it makes the situation even more serious. Pressure of the social fabric. Bullying in schools or hostels or colleges, which often goes unnoticed. A sense of social isolation and loneliness, family problem and discord, difficulties in romantic relationships, or sometimes the indirect pressure of families' financial constraints on the youth. Systematic flaws are also significant. Our education system being overly exam centric and neglecting the holistic development of personality. The unregulated functioning of coaching institutes and often the lack of effective counseling and support system there. Substance abuse as a fleeting escape. Some students resort to drugs or alcohol to cope with stress, despair, or loneliness, which ultimately worsens their problems and traps them in a vicious cycle. The impact of the digital world and social media. Cyberbullying, constant comparison with others' perfect lives, and an unrealistic portrayal of life also negatively impact the mental health of youth, filling them with inferiority complexes and dissatisfactions. And when a student takes such a suicidal step, who pays the price? How deep and widespread its impact is, Perhaps we cannot even fully comprehend. It is a loss that is impossible to compensate for. What the family goes through is beyond words. Unbearable sorrow, never ending guilt, fear of social neglect, and an emptiness that haunts them for a lifetime. It also has a profound impact on educational institutions. An atmosphere of fear and despair is created, and an unspoken psychological pressure mounts on other students and teachers as well. And our society, we lose our most precious capital, our young talent. It also raises serious questions about our social values, our education system, and our support system, and points towards a public health crisis. But even in this darkness of despair, legal and governmental efforts are continuously being made to ignite a ray of hope and save lives. It's essential for us to know about these efforts. The Mental Health Care Act 2017. This is a progressive law that attempts to make mental health services accessible and right based for all. It protects the rights of individuals suffering from mental illness and, importantly, decriminalize suicidal attempts so that the affected person can seek help without any fear. National Suicide Prevention Strategy. This ambitious strategy by the central government aims to reduce the suicidal mortality rate in the coming years, emphasizing time-bound action plans, effective monitoring mechanisms, and multi-sectoral cooperation among various ministries and departments. Guidelines from the Ministry of Education and UGC. Important guidelines are issued from time to time to prioritize students' mental well-being in educational institutions, conduct stress management programs, and strengthen counseling services. Specific initiatives by the Rajasthan government are also commendable, and we should be aware of them. Active steps taken by the Kota district administration are frequently discussed, issuing detailed guidelines for coaching institutes, which include provisions for regular psychological counseling, recreational activities, ensuring better and safer facilities in hostels, instructions not to put undue pressure on students, and most importantly, facilitating the exit policy. If a student wishes to leave a course midway, as of May 2025, continuous efforts are underway under the quota model to make these guidelines more effective, with an emphasis on regular dialogues among parents, students, and coaching operators. State level and district level suicidal prevention helpline numbers are operational and being widely publicized so that no one feels alone in times of crisis. Efforts are also being made by the state government at various levels to expand mental health services and spread awareness on this issue. Despite all these efforts, Rajasthan's struggle, especially in the context of unique coaching hubs like Kota, presents some particular challenges that needs to be understood and overcome. An extremely competitive and high pressure environment where success is considered the only yardstick and there is no room for failure. This environmental places an invisible burden on students. Social stigma and hesitation regarding mental health. Even today, people in our society hesitate to talk openly about mental health problems or seek help, due to which students often keep their problems suppressed within themselves. Severe shortage of mental health professionals. The availability of trained psychologists, psychiatrists, and counselors is far less than the demand, especially in smaller towns and rural areas. Difficulty in early identification of at-risk students. Often, the problem doesn't come to anyone's attention until it takes a serious form. Lack of awareness among parents and the absence of healthy and effective communication with children is also a major challenge. Many times, they fail to understand or ignore their children's mental state. There are often shortcomings in the implementation of existing guidelines and policies, due to which their desired benefits are not achieved. So, how can this cycle of despair be broken? How can hope be instilled? What are the solutions to prevent this strategy? And how crucial can the role of an administrative officer be in this? This is a collective responsibility in which everyone has to play their part, and some concrete steps need to be taken, such as accessibility of helplines for immediate support. Firstly, it's crucial to know and widely publicize that help is always available. The central government's Kiran helpline, which has numbers 180059900019, and the Ministry of Health and Family Welfare's Telemanas helpline, which is available on 14416, and toll free number 180089144416, provide round the clock mental health support and counseling. There might also be local helplines in Rajasthan run by the state government or various NGOs. Being aware of them and sharing this information with someone in crisis can be life-saving. Strengthening and ensuring universal access to mental health services, we need to work on a war footing to ensure the availability of trained psychologists and counselors in every district, and especially in all educational centers. Telemental health services need to be effectively expanded so that students in remote areas can also benefit from them. Human reforms in the education and examination system. Emphasis should be on understanding, analysis, and skill development instead of rote learning. Evaluation methods need to be diversified to reduce exam stress, and the holistic development and well-being of students should be valued. Social emphasis on life skills education and holistic well-being. Courses teaching stress management, emotional intelligence, problem-solving skills, and resilience to face life's challenges must be compulsory included in schools and colleges. Along with this, our ancient and scientifically proven practices like yoga and meditation must also be part of the curriculum and daily life. Yoga and meditation have proven to be extremely effective not only for physical health but also for mental peace, increasing concentration, effectively reducing stress, and maintaining emotional balance. Organizing regular yoga and meditation sessions in educational institutions can provide students with inner strength and stability, creating a supportive and sensitive environment at every level. This is perhaps the most important. An open, fearless, and supportive atmosphere needs to be created for students in families, schools, and coaching centers where they can share their problems without any hesitation. Regular workshops and counseling for parents, educating them on understanding their children's mental state, effective communication, and positive parenting techniques. Intensive training and sensitization for teachers, making teachers sensitive so that they can identify at risk students, communicate with them empathetically, and provide initial support. Establishment of mandatory and effective counseling sessions and peer support groups in educational institutions. A responsible and positive role for the media. Extreme sensitivity and responsibility must be exercised in reporting suicidal incidents so that there is no copycat effect and more focus can be placed on solutions and available support system. Effective and humane regulation of coaching institute, ensuring transparency in their functioning, implementing measures to reduce inhumane pressure on students, and ensuring mandatory and effective psychological support system. Encouraging hobbies and extracurricular activities, encouraging students to take out time for their interest and hobbies besides studies, which helps in reducing stress and bringing balance to life. Strengthening community support systems, actively involving local communities, religious and social institutions in this sensitive endeavor. As an RAS officer, your role in this is pivotal, like an axis, like a bridge. You can establish effective coordination between the education, health, and social welfare departments. You can ensure the meticulous and effective implementation of mental health programs and guidelines issued by the state government under your supervision. You can run awareness campaigns in collaboration with schools, colleges, and coaching institutes and organize workshops on yoga, meditation, and life skills. You can not only strengthen crisis intervention and support systems but also make them easily accessible, including widespread publicity of helpline numbers. Most importantly, with your administrative capacity, human approach, and sensitivity, you can contribute to creating such a positive and helpful environment where no student feels alone, defeated, or worthless, but rather believes that help is always available and there is a solution to every problem. Now let's take a look at some of the latest and most significant developments in this area, which will help us understand the direction in which we are moving and which efforts need to be accelerated. The most prominent and recent development is from May 23, 2025, when the Honorable Supreme Court strongly criticized the Rajasthan government over the rising cases of student suicides in Kota and termed the situation extremely serious. The court showed accountability from the state government, asking why these tragic incidents are concentrated in Kota and how seriously the state government is addressing this crisis. Expressing deep concern over the 14 student suicides in Kota this year, the Supreme Court also questioned delays in registering an FIR in one case and emphasized the need for swift action. The court also recalled its March 24, 2025 decision, which had constituted a national task force to address students' mental health concerns and prevent suicide incidents. This intervention by the Supreme Court underscores the national importance and urgency of this issue. Additionally, the latest and stricter guidelines for coaching institutes issued by the Kota District Administration continue to be implemented, emphasizing mandatory weekly offs for students, special training for hostel wardens, and regular dialogues with parents. The Rajasthan government announced the inclusion of mental health and well-being as a major component in the state's youth policy, under which special mental health programs for youth are planned. Upcoming NCRB data is anticipated to provide further clarity on student suicide patterns and causes. So friends, the issue of student suicide is not just a game of numbers, it is a litmus test of our society's health, the effectiveness of our education system, and our collective conscience. It is a multi-layered problem that requires a multi-dimensional solution involving legal stringency, policy reforms, expansion of mental health services, a human approach in the education system, family and social support, and above all, the creation of a sensitive and aware society. Every single life is precious and every student's dream is our nation's dream. Saving them, supporting them, and giving them the courage to move forward is our collective responsibility. It is the constant endeavor of Anag Academy to bring you the most accurate, comprehensive, and updated information on every such sensitive and exam relevant topic so that there are no gaps in your preparation and you can understand these societal challenges deeply. If you want your RS preparation to have such a human and analytical depth that makes you not only a successful officer but also a better and more sensitive human being, then subscribing to Anag Academy's YouTube channel will be a meaningful step for you. This is the platform that is committed to giving your dreams the right direction and a new vision to understand society. If you found today's episode thought-provoking and important, then please don't forget to like it, share it with all your friends and family members who need to be aware of this sensitive issue. And yes, if you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe to the channel and definitely press the bell icon so you don't miss any of our new episodes. And now a special request as we leave. Which similarly important social or contemporary topic would you like to hear discussed in the next RS podcast? Please give us your suggestion in the comment section below. Your suggestions are invaluable to us and it will help us to create even more relevant content for you. Additionally, on today's topic, in your opinion, what should be the very first and most essential step at the level of society, family, and government to prevent student suicides, which urgently needed? Do tell us in the comment sections. We will meet again in the next RAS podcast, possibly with a topic suggested by you. Until then, take care of yourself and your loved ones. Keep the dialogue open, be a support for each other, and never let go of hope. Jai Hind, Jai Bharat.